to this online session dedicated to semester 8 mechanical engineering students. The subject for the session is materials handling and facility planning, and the topic will be material handling system and method. Today's class instructor will be Professor Eldos Deke, who is working as the Dean of Adi Shankara Institute of Engineering and Technology, Kavadi, Ernakulam. He did his B.Tech in Mechanical Engineering from MA College of Engineering, Kodamangalam in 2002 and M.Tech in Production and Industrial Engineering from MA College of Engineering, Kodamangalam as well, and is currently pursuing his PhD at NIT Calicut. He is an academician for the past 16 years and has 2 years industrial experience at Tata Power, Jamshedpur as well. Sir has 14 research publications to his name. His field of expertise is production and industrial engineering. On behalf of ASAP and ASTC division, I welcome you, sir, to deliver today's class. And on this note, I would like to welcome all the attendees to the session. Let me conclude this introductory part by giving the outline of today's class. The entire 1 hour class will be divided into 2 continuous sessions, and each session will have 20 minutes of lecture and 10 minutes of question and answer interaction respectively. And during the interaction time, students may use the question and answer window or chat window to pose their questions. All the students are requested to maintain a classroom decorum throughout the session. Professor Eldos Deke sir will be available online throughout the entire 1 hour session. After the class, the students leaving the event will be prompted with a feedback form. I request all the students to fill the feedback form as when it is displayed after you exit the class. Sir, you may please start the session.
Thank you, Ashish, for the introduction. I welcome all of you in this session on material handling system. First of all, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to ASAP team for giving me this opportunity, as well as I congratulate them for their good work in this area. My name is Eldos and I'm Dean Adi Shankara Institute of Engineering and Technology. And today I'm going to discuss the 5th module of material handling and facility planning, and the topic is material handling systems. Material handling is an important aspect to be considered while designing a manufacturing plant, as we all know. And we have to see the material handling to be easy, cost effective, and it should be very, very efficient. So today's lecture, we see the salient features of the material handling. What are the various definitions of material handling, and what are the objectives of material handling, and what are the principles normally industry follow while handling materials. We have to seriously look into materials handling system in order to make profit. As all of us know, maximization of profit is the prime objective of any manufacturing activity. If we spend too much money on material handling equipments and the system is not effective, too much time will be taken for transferring material from one place to another, or a frequent breakdown may occur. In these cases, overall manufacturing activities will be stopped and ultimately we lose the business as well. So we will start this session with an introduction of material handling. Before that, the content of today's session is introduction, objectives, the material handling selection, then the importance of materials handling equipments, then the system concept of materials handling, then the different types of material handling methods, then basic material handling systems, then principles of material handling, then last the limitations. So we start with introduction. Material handling means providing the right amount of right material in the right condition, at the right place, at the right time, in the right position, and for the right cost by using the right method. So we have to look into very seriously each term mentioned in that particular introduction statement. See, it is the it means that providing the right amount of the right material. Right amount means the right quantity. So for a particular workstation, this much quantity of material is required. So the material handling system shall be capable of transmitting that much amount of material to that particular workstation. So that is what is meant by right amount, means right quantity of the right material. Right material means the correct specified material to be reached to the workstation in the right condition. Right condition means it must be in usable form. There shall not be any damage while transferring materials from one place to another. So material handling system must be capable, must be efficient to handle the material in safe condition for particular work, as well as at the right place. I mentioned a particular material is required for a particular workstation or particular workplace. That material shall be placed. So the right place it shall be transmitted and at the right time. So we all know that in production scenario, that scheduling is there, particular time is allotted for a particular material. So the raw material, whether it is a raw material, in process material or the finished material, at right time that shall be reached to the particular work center and in the right position, as well as the right cost means cost effectively we have to utilize all these things. As I mentioned in the initial session, the cost effectiveness is very important. As far as any industry is concerned, the maximization of the profit or reducing the cost is the prime objective. So the cost effectiveness is very important, and by using the right method. Right method means we can use overhead cranes, we can use trucks, we can use hoist, we can use small conveyors. So according to the requirement, we have to use the correct method. So this is the fundamental introduction of material handling systems. Then another aspect is it applies to the movement of raw materials, parts in process, finished goods, packing materials and disposal of scraps. So while transmitting or transfer materials, it may be in the form of raw materials, it may be partially working condition material or part in process, it may be finished work, it may be packing materials, as well as it may be a scrap. Which means when we design any work handling equipment, it shall be capable of transmitting raw materials, in-process inventory, finished stock, packing material, as well as the scrap. Scrap is also very important because sometimes in big industries, scrap itself is a huge, big one. The weight may be huge. So the handling systems must be capable enough to handle the scraps as well. In general, hundreds and thousands tons of materials are handled daily, requiring the use of large amount of manpower is required, while the movement of material takes place from one processing area to another processing area or one department to the department of a particular plant. That means huge manpower is required. Similarly, thousands tons of material to be transmitted. So it is a very tedious work. So we have to be very serious. We have to take it into a serious consideration in material handling session as far as an industry or a production plant is concerned. So the basic definitions of material handling is that the material handling is the movement and storage of material at the lowest possible cost through the use of proper method and equipment. Material handling means there are two aspects are there. One is movement, the second one is storage. So whether it is a raw material, whether it is a process material, whether it is a good finished goods, we have to move that material as well as safely we have to store that material at a particular place, or we have to keep that inventory. So in both of these aspects must be done effectively, as well as the cost shall be minimum and proper method and equipment shall be used for transferring as well as storage of the material. Another definition is material handling comprises all of the basic operations involved in the movement of bulk, packaged and individual products in a semi-solid, solid state or liquid state as well by means of machinery and within limits of place of business, which means See, sometimes we have to transfer bulk material. Sometimes you have to transfer unit material like individual products. So, and the state, the property, the state of the material may be liquid, may be solid, may be semi-solid. So according to the requirement, we have to design the material handling equipment for that particular plant. The next one is the objectives of material handling. As I mentioned, the primary objective of material handling is to reduce the unit cost of production. If you take any manufacturing facility, the primary objective is to minimize the total cost or minimize the cost or maximize the profit. See, in overall cost, one part is being contributed by material handling. So if you reduce the cost of material handling, we can reduce the overall cost of production so that we can maximize the profit. This is the main objective. Then the subordinate objectives are reduce manufacturing cycle time. It's very important. Reduce manufacturing cycle time. What do you mean by cycle time? See, cycle time means the overall time required for completing a particular product. So during that operation time, some time definitely required for material handling. So if you optimize the time requirement, you can reduce the overall cycle time for that particular production of that material. So the cycle time reduction is very important as far as an objective of material handling process is concerned. Then reduce delays and damage. See, that point is also very important. Reduce delays and damages. Delays and damages means, suppose if I will tell you an example, if you take an overhead crane, which is used for transferring material from one place to another. See, when that material is being transmitted through that overhead crane, suppose some activity is carrying out under the overhead crane, there may be a chance of occurring some accident. So we have to avoid that. As well as we have to avoid unnecessary delay during the transmitting time. So these two aspect is very important as far as the objective is concerned. Delays and damage shall be reduced. Then the third objective is promote safety and improve working condition. If you take any industry, safety aspect is very, very important, and we have to take care of the machinery. We have to take care of the human beings. So safety aspect is very important. So we have to promote the safety enhancing techniques as well as activities and improving working conditions. So when you enhance the safety, definitely the working conditions will be improved. And the fourth point is maintain or improve product quality. See, during the transfer of material from one workstation to another workstation or one place to another workplace, that quality we have to ensure. Whatever be the quality and end product quality, the same quality we have to ensure during the transmission time as well. I will tell you an example. Suppose some material is transmitted through a conveyor, belt conveyor. That over the belt conveyor, suppose some products are placed, it is being transmitted from one place to another place. So during that transmission time or transfer time, there may be some hit in between workplace. So what happens? The surface finish may damage. So we have to ensure the product quality as well during the material handling time. Then another aspect of objective is to promote productivity. Productivity means we have to increase the production rate. In order to enhance the productivity, we have to follow a straight line transmission, like material should flow in a straight line, means we have to avoid some zigzag movement, unnecessary movements we have to avoid in order to enhance the productivity. So a optimum path we have to decide. Accordingly, we have to install or we have to erect the material handling equipments. And material should move as short a distance as possible. So that is also very important. So while transmitting a material from one place to another, there are different paths. So we have to optimize the path so that the distance moved is minimum. That is another objective. Then the third objective in this particular session is use gravity concept. See, wherever we can implement gravity concept, we can use that so that we can reduce energy requirement, we can reduce the power requirement, because there is no energy and power required if we utilize the gravity concept. So we can transfer material from a higher level to lower level using some path, so that gravity concept we can follow. If we can implement that procedure wherever it is possible, we can reduce the energy. That also will enhance the productivity. Then another point is move more material at one time. If it is possible to transfer material heterogeneity, if we can include heterogeneity, that also will improve the productivity. Then another aspect is increase the use of facilities. We have to enhance the facility utilization. The first point is promote the use of building cube. We have to utilize the building availability, whatever area is available, we have to utilize that. Then purchase versatile equipment. Versatile equipment means the equipment can perform different operations. Instead using a stringent operation, we can purchase an equipment which can be utilized in different environment and different situations. So that versatile equipment purchase is very important. Then develop a preventive maintenance program. Preventive maintenance, as we all know that, this is the routine maintenance in order to avoid breakdown. So according to the requirement of different material handling equipments, we have to design different preventive maintenance program. For a particular material handling equipment, one particular procedure may be followed. It may not be suitable and effective for another product. So for another material handling equipment, we have to design another preventive maintenance program in order to avoid a breakdown. Then maximize the equipment utilization. As we all know that equipment is available for us for 24 hours. So we have to utilize the equipment at the fullest level. So maximize the equipment utilization. These are the objectives comes under this particular category. Promote increased use of facilities. Then next topic is material handling selection of material handling. And there are different factors are there. First one is the properties of the material, whether it is a solid one, liquid, gas, or what is the size, shape, and weight. According to this heterogeneity, we have to design the particular handling equipment. So we have to take all these factors into consideration while selecting the particular equipment. Then the second point is layout and characteristics of the building. Suppose for a particular plant, the roof level, which is a low level roof, so we could not implement some heavy material handling equipments. Suppose if it is a multi-story building, so we have to design or we have to select equipment accordingly. So according to the layout and characteristics of the building and plant, we have to select the handling equipment effectively. The next one is the production flow. Production flow means, suppose if it is a continuous production or it is a shop floor or a batch production, we have to use different techniques. Continuous production means it is a mass production. Same quantity, same type of material is producing for a particular period of time. Say for 1 month, say same nut and bolt, thousands, lakhs of nut and bolt is producing for a particular period of time. So that is called the mass production or uniform production. In that particular scenario, we can use a particular, say conveyor belt is, conveyor is an apt one in that particular situation. So according to the production scenario, we have to design the material handling equipment effectively. Then in batch production means different materials are produced at a particular time. So different components are being produced. So we can use trucks, inside trucks for transmitting or transfer material from one place to another. So according to the production scenario, we can differentiate, we can select the handling equipments accordingly. Then cost consideration, of course, according to the cost requirement, we can only purchase different materials. So cost is an important factor while selecting any material handling equipments. The nature of operations. So that is also very important. If it is, as I mentioned, it is somewhat similar to production flow. If it is a mass production, we have to select material accordingly. If it is a batch production, we have to select materials accordingly. And then engineering factors. Engineering factors means that the floor conditions, then the strength of the structural strength. All these are engineering factors. The structural strength is not that much rigid. We could not implement. We could not use heavy material handling equipment. So we have to consider the building strength, the structural stability. Also, we have to consider. We have to consider the door size. We have to consider the floor area. We have to consider the floor nature of the floor situation. All these things to be considered. These are comes under engineering factors. Then the equipment reliability is also very important. Equipment reliability means our equipment shall be reliable. That means continuous or frequent breakdown shall not occur. So the procurement as well as the vendor, that when we purchase any equipment, the reliability aspect we have to look into seriously. So with this, I conclude the first session of this particular class. Any doubts?
Okay, sir. The session was very clear and it was very authentic as well. Sir, as of now, we haven't received any questions from the students. So we can move on to the next session, sir. And we will have an interaction in the last 10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Even sir. Next topic is importance of materials handling. This is a summary of what we have discussed so far. It improves the efficiency of the production system. It is self-explanatory. It cut down the indirect labor cost. It reduces damage of materials during storage and movement, as I mentioned earlier. It maximizes the space utilization by proper storage of materials and thereby reduce the storage and handling cost. Using this, we can reduce the overall cost. Then it will minimize the accidents during material handling. It is very important, safety aspect. It reduces overall cost by improving material handling. Then it also improves the customer services by supplying materials in a convenient manner for handling. So these are the importance of material handling. The next, another important topic is what are the factors to be considered while designing a material handling system. The first factor is material. The form of material, whether it is a gaseous state material, a liquid state material, semi-liquid material, solid material. So according to that form, we have to classify the material handling systems. If it is a liquid material or it is a toxic or corrosive type material, we can use containers. Or if it is a semi-liquid or powder type material, we can also use containers for transferring materials from one place to another. If it is a solid one, we can use overhead cranes, we can use hoist, we can use hinges, we can use, or we can use trucks. We can use for solid materials. The next aspect is nature, whether it is a bulk, whether it is a unit load, whether it is an individual items, it is a fragile, sturdy, bulky. See, what is a unit load? Unit load means it's the same material, like the same dimension as well as the material is looking similar. Like I tell you an example. You take a brick, so that can be considered as a unit load. So if you take different bricks, the size, dimensions, and the appearance, everything is same. Similarly, if that same brick, 10 bricks, as I said, you can place in another casing, so that may be considered as a unit load, and that may be loaded to a particular truck or wherever it is. So that is what is meant by the unit load concept. Whereas the bulky means the material size may be different. So we have to, for bulky material transmission, we have to use different other type of material handling equipments. So if it is a fragile, we have to use material equipments accordingly. If it is a sturdy one, we have to use materials equipments accordingly. The next one is the characteristics, whether it is a chemical characteristics, electrical characteristics, mechanical characteristics. Accordingly, we have to design and we have to select the equipment as per the requirement. Then quantity, whether it is pieces, whether it is in terms of weight, pounds, whether it is liquid form, gallons, as I mentioned. So quantity is another factor. Accordingly, we have to design the system. The next important factor is the movement or the movement of the material. The source and destination. Source and destination means, see, while transmitting material, while transferring materials, now we have to receive the material, we have to stock it there, or we have to keep it in a warehouse. Then it may be transmitted to the floor, the shop floor. Then after completing the work, it may be again stored in the finished stock room. So source and destination. So throughout movement is there. So we have to consider this factor for that design of the equipments. The next one is the route. Route means the location, the range or the path, then cross traffic. See, this is an important term, cross traffic. In many industries, see, during the material transfer time, simultaneously different type of materials are being transmitted or being moved or being transported at the same time. So the cross traffic we have to avoid. When a particular heavy material is being transported from one place to another place, we shall avoid cross traffic in between. So we have to design an optimum route or path for an effective transportation aspect. So next one is the distance. So whether it is a horizontal distance movement, whether it's a vertical movement, whether it's an inclined movement, accordingly we have to design our material handling system. This is an important factor. Then frequency. Then whether it is an intermittent production or uniform production. Intermittent production and uniform production I already mentioned. Uniform production means it is a continuous mass production. Then intermittent production, also we have to design accordingly. Then speed is also very important. Speed at which it is being transported. That is also another factor. Then another factor is methods. Whether it is unit or load, whether manpower, then equipment. As I mentioned, whether it is a bulky items or individual items or container items, whatever it is, we have to consider this factor. Then manpower, whether it is a single man or different, several people are involved, or none means we can mechanize the system. This aspect comes under that area. Then equipment. Equipment means conveyor, overhead cranes are there, forklifts are there, trucks are there. So different equipments according to the requirement we can select. The next topic is the systems concept of materials handling. The system concept means, see, if we take a production system as a whole, production scenario as a whole, that may be considered as a system. But the material handling is a subsystem of that main system. So in order to work that main system effectively, the subsystem also work effectively. So the material handling area is very, very important as far as a production system is concerned. Unless the material handling system works properly, the total system won't work effectively. So this particular area may be considered as a subsystem. So there are so many subsystems are there. All subsystems shall work together, synchronize together in order to improve the effectiveness of the main system. So this is what is the system concept of material handling. Then types of material handling methods. There are 5 types are there. One is the movement. This is nothing but the actual transportation, actual movement of material from one place to another place. The next one is quantity. How much we can transfer. How much volume we can transfer. In this, we can dictate the type and nature of the material handling equipment and also cost per unit for the conveyance of the goods. Next aspect is the time. How quickly the material can be moved from one place to another place. So if we have to move very quickly, accordingly we have to select the handling system. Then space requirement. So if the available space is very less, we could not erect big material handling equipment. So space is a constraint. According to the available space, we have to optimize the material handling equipments. The next one is control. Control means the proper identification of the material, proper inventory management, all these factors, all these aspects comes under the control area. So these are the different types of material handling methods. 5 methods are there: movement, quantity, time, space, and control. Then basic material handling systems. The different material handling systems are, one is equipment oriented system, and the second one is material oriented system, and the third one is method oriented system, and the fourth one is function oriented system. These are the 4 different material handling systems. And the first one is equipment oriented system. From the heading itself, it is very clear that it depends on the equipment. What are the types of equipment used for the transportation? One is the overhead systems, like overhead cranes, jeep cranes, like that. Then conveyor systems. Belt conveyors are there, oral conveyors are there, the conveyor systems are there. Then tractor trailer system, then forklift truck and pallet system, then industrial truck systems, then underground systems. These are the commonly used equipments in the material handling scenario. Then another system is material oriented system. This already we explained, unit handling systems, whether that particular equipment is handling units only. The unit means, I already mentioned, same type of material. All are similar, which may be transmitted from one place to another place. That is unit handling system. Bulk handling system means it is not similar. Then liquid handling system means the form is liquid. A unit load consists of a number of items so arranged that it can be picked up and moved as a single entity, such as a box. As I mentioned, it may be considered as a box, bale, roll, etc. Such a system is more flexible and requires less investment. So unit load concept we can follow because it involves less cost. Then another type of system is method-oriented systems. According to this system, we can classify the systems such a way that manual systems is very clear. There is no automation or mechanization. The manually it is being operated. Then next one is the automated system. Then job shop handling system. Job shop, as I told you, job shop production means different types of materials are produced at a particular time. Then mass production means the same type, it is uniform production, same type of products are being produced at a particular period of time. So this is method-oriented systems. Then last one is function-oriented systems. This is transportation systems are there, conveyor or conveying systems are there, then transferring systems are there, then elevating systems are there. These are the 4 classification of function-oriented. Elevating system means that may be elevated from particular point to another point. It may be raised in elevator system. Transferring system means it is being transferred from one place to another place. Like that, conveying and transportation. It is very clear. Then factors affecting selection of materials handling equipment. All these points are self-explanatory. With the present, till now, we have discussed many things, and these things easily we can follow. One is flexibility. Flexibility means the machine is capable to do the material handling equipment is capable to handle different types of materials. The flexibility shall be there. Then load capacity. For a particular equipment, we have to ensure the maximum load capacity. Then speed. We already mentioned that time if that operation is being done quickly, we can improve the productivity as well as we can reduce the cost. So speed is important. Then space requirement already we explained that the available floor area we have to utilize. Whatever be the available area, we have to utilize the available space. Then supervision required. The level of supervision, like if it is a manual one, 100% supervision is required. If it is an automated one, that supervision level may be 10% or 5%. If it is partially automated, that level of supervision is required. So that also we have to take into consideration. The ease of maintenance, as I mentioned, that maintenance of each and every equipment is very important. So as we already discussed, we have to design a program for that preventive maintenance. So the ease of maintenance is very important when we select a equipment. Then environment is also a factor, cost is also a factor. This is self-explanatory. Then the last topic of our discussion is principles of material handling. I mentioned around 20 principles. Part A is principles related to planning and part B is principles related to equipment. This is a thumb of rule. I mentioned 20 principles, but it may not be possible to implement all principles. Sometimes we cannot implement such one principle in particular situation. That principle may be utilized in another situation. So that depends on the situation or depends on the requirement. We can follow these principles. So first one is planning principle. It is very easy to understand. Then system principle I already mentioned. Then simplification principle. Simplification principle means that equipment shall be simple. The operation procedure shall be simple. So we have to follow that simplification procedure in order to utilize the equipment effectively. Then material flow principle. Material flow principle means the smooth flow of the material. We shall avoid the zigzag movement and we shall avoid the unnecessary movement. So material flow shall be optimum. So straight line flow we can follow. Already we discussed. Then gravity principle already I mentioned. Gravity principle means without using any energy or any power, we can transfer material from one place to another using the gravity concept. The unit size principle also we discussed. We can have unit size of material so that the transportation is very easy. Then space utilization principle I mentioned. We have to utilize the space optimally. Then safety principle. It is also very clear. We have to use the safety guidelines according to the Industry Act or whatever it is in order to safeguard the equipment and the human being. We have to follow the safety principle. These are the principle comes under planning header. Then the remaining 12 principle comes under principles related to equipment. Then mechanization principle. Then to what extent this equipment can be automated in order to improve the efficiency, in order to improve the productivity. What extent we can mechanize the equipment or what extent we can automate the equipment. That is what is called mechanization principle. Flexibility principle, we already discussed. Flexibility means that particular equipment can do different operations. It is flexible. It is adaptive. So that is what is called the flexibility principle. Then third one is equipment selection principle. So we have to select the equipment according to the requirement, according to the effectiveness, we have to select the equipment. Then standardization principle. Standardization means some equipments are standardized. So standardization means we can operate that particular equipment safely, effectively by unskilled worker as well. So standardization principle we have to follow wherever it is required. Then lightweight principle, it is very self-explanatory. We have to reduce the weight of the equipment as far as possible. Then motion principle. Motion principle means that motion also we have to, the movement also we have to optimize. Idle time principle. Idle time principle means we have to reduce the idle time. That means the effective utilization of the equipment. We have to reduce the idle time of the equipment. Accordingly, we have to select the material. Suppose if an industry which is producing small weight equipment, we need not use trains. So we have to design our equipment, we have to select our equipment according to the requirement so that the idle time is reduced. Then obsolescence principle. Obsolescence, it is also very important. Sometime when updation is coming up, we have to update the equipment. If it is obsolete, we have to change it. Otherwise, the productivity won't increase. So obsolescence principle we have to follow if it is required. The maintenance principle is very clear. We have to have a clear maintenance procedure, then control principle, then capacity principle, then performance principle. These are the 12 factors or 12 principle of material handling under equipment, and 8 more principle comes under principle related to planning. So total 20 principles are there. As I mentioned, it is a thumb rule. So we have to use our wisdom, which principle may be used in a particular situation. So using some trial and error method or some discussion, we can select different principle or we can combine principles according to the requirement. Then last topic, the limitations of material handling. Of course, additional investment is required, and then loss of flexibility to some extent. Then breakdown may occur. If breakdown occurs, the whole production will be stopped. Then, of course, timely maintenance is required. Unless we do the maintenance, the breakdown may occur. So for maintenance, additional of skilled maintenance manpower is required. Maintenance spares, cost of maintenance, time requirement for servicing and arrangement during this period to continue the production. So these are some drawbacks, some limitations of material handling. It's very clear.
Yes, sir, the session was very clear and we have reached the last 15 minutes of the session. Sir, could you please conclude the session by giving an overall summary?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay.
So
we will move on to the QA.
Okay. So as I mentioned in the first part before introduction, I already mentioned in many industries, this material handling area may not be considered seriously. So that is an important aspect of any production scenario. I focused this particular session in view of production scenario, but this material handling aspect may be extended to any areas. I focused on manufacturing area, manufacturing aspect. I focused to explain all these things. But this material handling area is very, very important. We have to consider it seriously. Otherwise, the total cost or the profit we cannot optimize. If we have a very effective material handling system, we can maximize the profit. We can reduce the cost. As I mentioned, in system concept, this material handling is a subsystem. If you take the production scenario as a whole system, this material handling is a subsystem. We know that in system concept, if one subsystem cannot perform effectively, what happens? The performance or the effectiveness of the whole system will break. We won't get the maximum effectiveness from the main system. So subsystem also work effectively in order to get the good result. So in system concept, this material handling is a subsystem in a production system. So material handling is very important as far as a production or manufacturing scenario is considered. As well as the principles of material handling is also very important. And in this unit size principle, gravity principle already mentioned. All these things are very, very important. That is practicing in all industries. So one important aspect is out of these 20 principles, we have to select optimum principles, say for a particular situation. That is what is an effective decision-making process. So for a particular industry or a particular production scenario, what all principles shall be utilized? What all things can be implemented in order to increase the effectiveness or in order to increase the productivity. So out of these 20 principles, we have to select optimum principle for improving the productivity as well. So that is a thumb rule, as I mentioned. That is a thumb rule. According to some experience, sometimes some experience may be required, some trial and error method may be followed in order to select good principles. Okay, so as an engineering student, as a mechanical engineering student, this material handling area is very important. Wherever you go, when you go to any industry, you will experience this aspect, material handling. When we think about material handling aspect, we thought it is a very simple process, but it may not like that. See, 1 ton, 2 ton or 3 ton materials may be transmitted in a restricted area without any damage. It is very difficult. So we have to design an optimum system for that. So this area is very important as far as any mechanical industry is concerned. So that is what is the conclusion from my side. Any doubt, any queries, you can please raise.
Yes, sir. I have received a few questions. So the first question is, how material handling affect inventory cost?
How material handling
affect inventory cost?
See, in inventory, see, so for any industry, we have to design the inventory requirement. See, for a particular industry, we have some warehouses are there, some storage places are there. Inventory means the storage. So we have to design appropriate warehouses, appropriate area for storage. But definitely, if the material handling is not effective, definitely it may increase the inventory cost. So it is correlated, but if the system is effective, that inventory system also effective.
Okay, sir, that was clear. Another question is from Anish Abraham. He has asked how material handling automation is implemented in industries. How material handling automation is implemented in industries.
See, nowadays, in order to, the safety is one important aspect, safety. So nowadays, in many big industries, that huge big materials are being transported from one place to another. So the manual transportation is very difficult. So in order to enhance the safety aspect, in order to enhance the productivity, in order to enhance the effectiveness, definitely sometimes you have to go for mechanized systems. So if it is a very small industry, small equipments are being produced, that automation, material handling system may not be automated. But if it is a big industry where big products are being produced, definitely we have to look into the automation, but the level of automation also we have to decide whether it is partially automated, whether it is fully automated, and considering the safety aspect. Safety is very important.
Okay, sir, I have received a question from Evin. He's asking which is the best textbook for this topic?
Actually, there is no one textbook, single textbook for this. We have to refer different textbooks. But in many production-related textbooks, we will get these materials. But as such, some ready-made textbooks are available, but I will not recommend that textbooks because that won't enhance your knowledge. In order to enhance your knowledge, you have to read good textbooks. But for material handling and facility planning, as such, there is no textbooks good in my knowledge. But production-related good books are there, where you will get all these ideas.
Okay, sir. So another question from Evin himself. So his question is, what do you mean by ergonomics and what is its relation with material handling?
Ergonomics means the the movement, the type of movement. Like suppose if I am sitting in this chair, unless this chair height is optimum, unless my seating is comfort, I cannot produce 100% output. So ergonomics means we have to design this particular chair for comfort sitting. This height is very important. This back inclination is very important. So that is, all these comes under ergonomics. That also very important in material handling also. So that ergonomics and material handling is very much correlated. Ergonomics actually that comes under next module, that topic is there. So ergonomics is very much correlated with the material handling systems.
Okay, so that was clear. So another question is from Manish. Are material of handling equipments a concern?
Definitely. See, this is a big concern actually. See, when we take a big industry like very big industry, I have worked in Tata Power, where they're manufacturing thermal power plants. See, for thermal power plants, huge weight materials being transmitted from one place to another. The distance may be 1 kilometer or 2 kilometers. So some small vehicles are utilized. So the challenge is, suppose in order to start the work at say 10 o'clock, so suppose we need to start the transportation of the raw material or the material handling, say 8 o'clock we need to start. So 8 o'clock we started, we assume that within 2 hours it will reach here. But during this 1 hour, 1 kilometer or 2 kilometer journey, different obstacles may come. See, suppose sometimes the roads may not be that much width, in between obstacles come. So we have to redesign the arm of the vehicle in order to move it smoothly. So always that material handling is a challenging area, and I mentioned already it is very important in order to enhance the effectiveness of the whole system. So material handling is a very challenging area, and so many updations and new inventions are coming in that area. Is it clear?
Okay, so that was clear. Yes, sir, that was clear. So I hope we have answered all the questions raised by the students. So we are entering into the last 5 minutes of the session. So we will wind up the session, sir. So it was really a great, grateful one. So thank you, sir, for this wonderful session. Indeed, it was a fruitful one. On behalf of ASAP, and I personally express our sincere gratitude to you, sir, for sparing your time and sharing your valuable knowledge with us during this lockdown situation. The unanswered questions raised by the students will be answered, and it will be available at the ASAP website, and the recorded video of the class will be available at ASAP office official YouTube channel within a couple of days. Thank you, dear students, and thank you all. And one more thing I would like to add on is, while you are exiting the WebEx meeting or the WebEx class, which is ongoing now, there will be a feedback form prompted. So kindly do fill the feedback form mentioning your institution as well as your district in it. Thank you all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.